We are here. We are in the T3. We are in Dungarvan at the Getaway. Mutley is lying down there. I'm editing a video. And one of my favourite franchise, two of my favourite franchise, Mission Impossible and The Fast and the Furious, they're doing their last videos of their season, of their run, and they're doing it in a two-part. So today, it's a two-part. Today, Wednesday, you'll get to meet the build team, and this coming Friday, you'll get to see the van where we are here at the Getaway in Dungarvan. So let me introduce you to me, Rocky, and Pa. Back in February of 2023, myself and Rocky had that parked up against the wall. We start emptying it. I'll insert some video here if I can find it. And it was the first time that either of us had seen this van empty. Got to look at the woodwork, got to look at the flooring. We actually had to take out the original engine that was in it, which is still over there. And then Rocky says to me, "Oh yeah, not a bother." Were they your words or were they your words?
More or less, more or less.
So we tore into it. Now, in fairness, the stripping, we got the furniture out. The stripping part of it was easy, wasn't it? You know, a couple of shared screws and stuff, but in general, the stripping part of it was easy. We got everything out onto the floor, and then we had to make a plan. At what stage? So the plan started off, we strip out the interior. We pulled up the old lino. We pulled off all the carpeting. You had to actually do up here. That was
the Povey.
That, yeah, I went up there and I couldn't do it. So your man I was actually away for the weekend and your man just sent me photographs, job done. At what stage did you say, or at any stage did you say, what am I doing this for?
I think it's when we removed the dash and saw all the wires and cables and no homes for them.
Yes, when we took the dash off and we disconnected stuff, there was a lot of wires and cables that we didn't disconnect.
Yeah. And I said, oh my God, where are we going?
Yeah. And then we took out the heater cowling. Like, it all came, well, we had problems getting the screws out. And if I recall correctly, you went home to get a little impact drill because mine was too big, but I said, sure, look, while he's gone, I went drilling at the screws.
I messed up a few.
It didn't help. So we got the dash out, and I do remember the two of us looking. And again, if I can find a photograph, I'll put it in here. And we did go, oh my God.
Yeah, I looked out at my car that stage and said,
oh, is that the time?
It's the time to go now.
And I remember John, our landlord, coming in and going, that'll never see the road. I remember him saying that. He said, that will never see the road. So we then had to wait for the heating unit. And we only took this out for one flipping small fan blower, because you have to be able to demist your windows seemingly when you go for your NCT or your DOE in this case. So anyway, we got the dash out. I'm very thankful of your help, but what pissed me off about you was, where my attitude was, look, it's an 89 Volkswagen. Your attitude was, no, we're going to do it right, or we're not doing it at all.
Yeah, well, that's the way I think about things, yeah.
When we took off the wheels, you sprayed the back of the wheels. When we took off the dash, I wiped it down with a Dettol wipe. I was delighted with it, and you went, no. What did you want to do?
We spray it.
When we took out the seats, I went, there's a little rip, but hey, it's an 89. Brown seats. What did you want to do?
We spray them.
So we ended up spraying the seats black, and all credit to you. They turned out fantastic. Rocky ended up rubbing down the dash, giving it 2 coats of matte black, and all credit to you. It looks fantastic. We got the dash back in, and all credit to us. It went in pretty easy.
Yeah, a lot easier than I thought.
A lot easier than it came out. We kind of just taped up the wires that had nothing to do with us. The only thing when we put the dash back in is the heater cables, nibs had broken, and you know what? The expense of buying little nibs, it just wasn't worth it. So the heater is on, which is fine this time of the year. So then I went on holidays, and just before you went back to Crete, we got the upholstery done.
That's right, out in New India.
finished it off. Brilliant.
I was glad it was done before I went away then.
Yeah. So it was finished. It was as good as finished. Yeah. We had driven it because you drove it. We drove it down the lane. And it was fine until then you went to Crete. And I came out here one day and I said, I'm bringing it for a spin. And Rocky had said to me, now keep me updated on the WhatsApp group. I will. I reversed it out here. I drove to a meet in Carlo, was updating him. And then the gear selection start acting up. And for 4 weeks, that broke my heart. That's what deflated me. Here we are at the end of the build. We're in November. As I say, it's done about 6 weeks, but now it's finished. She's taxed, she's DOE'd, she's insured, she's driving with the exception of that little leak. What do you think?
I think it's time for another project maybe, yeah?
I think you think too much. What I meant was, what do you think of this? Not what's next.
What's next? You must always think of what's coming up the road.
Yeah, new radiator pipes. Happy with it?
Yeah, it's brilliant, yeah. This is nice.
Delighted with it.
Yeah, it was rewarding like to be doing that job. That's what I find about it. It was rewarding. You know, a few hours every day or every...
There was days when we got nothing done.
Oh yeah, there was days we got nothing all done.
We were here for hours and got nothing done.
Backwards.
Yes, if anything.
We went, yeah.
Which leads to me buddy Pa, who will be here in a minute. Not that he's backwards, but he put a spanner in the works more times than he helped.
Oh yeah, but he enjoyed winding us up, didn't he?
Wind-up merchant. If ever there was a wind-up merchant. So I'm going to introduce you to Pa. We'll have a quick chat with him. But that is Rocky. Thank you for all of your help on this, because I'll tell you, we started in February. We were finished more or less the middle of July.
Yeah, but I mean, I just enjoyed doing it because I was at retirement the previous year. And for me, it was something to really, you know.
But now you're looking at, you want something else to do.
Now we have to get something else, yeah.
Seemingly we're getting something else. Rocky, buddy, we're going for chips this week, right? Thank you very much.
No problem.
Right, we're going to have a chat with Pa. He put a spanner in the works more time, but all credit to him, he also put a spanner in to get the job done. So Rockstar has left, and this is Pa. Now, I want to explain a couple of things about Pa. Pa, you're lovely, right? He's lovely.
I am.
However, we started this build in February, and Pa, oh gosh, we're going back 25 years.
Plus more.
Yeah. And he's always been into cars. In fact, you'll always see his Metro in the shot, and I know him from the Mini scene, and he's a fountain of knowledge. And I got to be honest, it's hard to be nice.
I'm very infuriated.
Yes. He would come out here and say, how's the build going? With interest, in fairness to you. Yes. And we'd say, yeah. And go, yeah, but what about that? And I'd go, what about it? That's not right. And I'd say, well, it's an 89 Volkswagen. Yeah. He would come out regularly and point out things and walk away. And I'd say to Rocky, we're closing the feckin' doors. You were a torment.
I know.
But as the build went on, you were great for getting, there'd been a few times we were stuck and you came up with a solution, but you'd walk away. There were times when we were stuck, you'd come up with a solution and you would fix it. And then when the build was finished and I was having the gear selection problems.
Oh yeah.
I mean, in fairness to you, you came up with 3 or 4 solutions, and every time that a solution failed,
we try another one.
He just looked at it, and I have to be honest, and I've thanked you, and but he riled me. He came out deliberately. His day wasn't made if he didn't annoy me.
Someone, not just you. Anyway.
Oh, someone.
Anyway, yeah.
But it tended to be me when you were out here.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
But then, the doors, when I bought all the rubbers, Pa noticed that the channel on the back door for the rubbers wasn't all there. And I went, of course it is, look. And I went to put the rubbers on. And this is what I love, you know, when he knows he's right. Show me. So I went to put the rubbers on. But we got down here, and all along here, the rubbers were just flapping. And he went, no channel. So in fairness to him, when myself and Deirdre and Charlie were on holidays, he took the van home to his place. He has a fine-sized workshop with a hoist, and he welded in, not a whole new track, but welded all the track, and now the rubbers are in, and that was the first. I was going to call that a big job. That was the first big job that you did for me, and it was brilliant. And he brought the van back, and it was great. And then she failed her DOE. Now he has, in fairness, off camera and off the record, towed this van more times. He has saved me more times than I care to remember, in fairness. But as I mentioned in the video when we were talking to Rocky, Pa says, you haven't owned enough balls of crap to understand that this is an everyday thing.
It's normal.
Yeah. So she failed her DOE on brake cylinders and stuff, which was grand. Anthony replaced all that. But she failed on mechanical or structural on the floor.
Yeah, you had small holes in the floor.
But we never saw them.
Yeah. They weren't looking for them.
No, because when we pulled up the carpet, it looked fabulous. And now, but when we found them, and if I can find them, I'll insert some photographs here, because I came home disheartened and Pa says, "Should give us a look." And he proceeded with a hammer and a drill to pull the front cab floor apart. Not a bother, but we revealed some holes.
The problem with holes in an old yoke is a small hole will end up being...
Yes, and a small hole, as I've learned from you, in order to get somewhere to weld, it will end up being that, because you have to knock away...
Massive, like, yeah.
So it reminded me of tattoo fixers on telly when you go in with a little small shamrock and you want to have it covered up and you get a big snake. It was like that. The two holes, especially the driver's side, weren't too bad. They were fine. But then you have to find metal to weld it to. So you were cutting off a lot of crap.
There was a big hole there in the finish line.
So he drove the van home to his place, got it up in the hoist a week, and it was literally 2 days before the DOE was up. And then he rang me and he went, right, come out. And we had a look, and the DOE guys, no, I took full credit at the DOE. However, the job was a good one. We went back for the DOE. She passed. Now, we have said since, like you said to me, when you own buckets, it's an ongoing. For example, we came out here this morning and there's a puddle. So I've ordered, well, I haven't ordered them because we can't get them. I need 2 new radiator pipes from this end. So but you said to me, it's part and parcel of owning a class.
It's ongoing. When you have old yokes, it's ongoing. It's never ending.
But you're saying that smiling, like you're saying that.
I'm around these things since I was 10, 11 years old. Like, you know.
And it's. I have to be honest.
I got introduced to all this by my father. Like, just go out and fix that. Go out and take that off of that car.
When you pulled up the 2 plates that were riveted onto the floor in the front cab, especially the driver's one, when I'm 58, I was nearly crying, and you went, "Yeah, not a bother." At any stage when you came out here watching us working on it, did you say, this is not going to happen? Like John, I mentioned to John, our landlord, said no. And Rocky has said on the video, and I agreed with him, when we took the dash out, we kind of went, oh, what have we done? At any stage, did you think these boys are wasting their time?
Yeah.
Once, twice?
First, initially when you got it, I thought you would know your head.
Yes. And you know what? I thought so too. But we succeeded. We did it. Now, we did it with a lot of help, but that's the whole idea of the network.
That's what this car game is about. Like.
Yeah.
You can't do everything on your own.
No.
You have to have friends.
Yeah.
There are some friends that are better at other stuff than you are on a car.
I mean, there's a few things that you came out here, the rock and roll bed, for example. We fought here for 2 days with €500 worth of a rock and roll bed. And he came out here and he went, sure, why don't you just do this? And I went, can it be done? And the same week that I was on holidays, I came back and the rock and roll bed, now it's not a rock and roll bed, but you lift up the back, you put it down, and I have what a rock and roll bed does without rocking and rolling, basically. And you just look at things and say, sure, we'll try it. And it worked. And I have a fabulous double bed. And then, as I said, I knew the welding was no problem, but you sat there and you were going, you don't need that.
In order to succeed, you have to fail.
Yes, and you learn by your mistakes. Yes. And I used to think that was a proper shit.
You have to fail a lot.
Yes.
To learn.
Yeah. But Pa,
we have failed a lot at cars.
But it doesn't seem to faze you.
No,
is it because you're at it long enough now? Did it faze you at the beginning?
It's a disease.
Yeah, oh, it is. Oh, and there's no cure.
It is a pure disease. Yeah. There is no cure for it, and I know no different.
Yeah, and you enjoy it. Thank you very much.
No problem at all, man.
The next part of this video is me, Charlie, heading to the getaway in Dungarvan, and the reveal of the graphics, the finish on the inside,